Yo, so what is going on, guys? It is your boy MLG Squid here, and welcome to another zombies video here on the channel. And this is a video that I've been wanting to make for an extremely long time. I've been talking about it for pretty much this entire last summer, doing Massacre Marathon Afterlife. This is a big video for sure. This is gonna be like, I think it's like an hour 20 minutes or hour 10 minutes at least it's gonna be. But basically what it is, as you can tell by the title, obviously in the thumbnail, I'm going to be ranking all of the Call of Duty Zombies games that have ever been created from the worst to the best. Now, this is my opinion, but believe me, I've got a Google Doc right in front of me right now that took me at least an hour total to type out all these things for all 12 Zombies games here. I've got a bunch of pros for each game, a bunch of cons for each game, and again, I'm going to be starting from the worst and going to the best. This will be my final Zombies video for a while, besides BO7 stuff. So I have gameplay for every single game. That's why this video hasn't come out any sooner, is because it's taken me like 2 weeks to make this video, because it took me a little bit over a week just to get the gameplay, like playing 12 different games. And I went to at least round 31 actually in every single game. So anyways, I got a bunch of gameplay. Hope you guys enjoy the video. It's gonna be a crazy video. Like I said, I've got a lot of positives and negatives for each game. Listen, I've played, if you've been on the channel, if you look at literally any of my videos from the last few summers, I play every single Zombies game. I recognize the good and the bad in every single game. I'm not really biased towards any game, so definitely might ruffle some feathers, some of these placements, especially once we get to like number 6. But anyways, I will see you in a second, and we will start out with number 12, the worst Zombies game of all time, in my opinion. So here we go, guys. Coming in at number 12, as you can see from the gameplay, I have Advanced Warfare. And I am going to give this a rating. I'm going to give every single game a rating, and I'm going to give each game like a tagline or like a description, basically. So for Advanced Warfare, I give this game a 2 out of 10. That's my ranking for this game. 2 out of 10, okay? I hate this game. I really hate this game. And the description I have for Advanced Warfare, or Exo Zombies, is the most unfun mode award. Alright, that's the award that this, if you want to call it an award, that's all I can give this mode. It is the most unfun and irritating and annoying experience ever created. So let's start out, guys. I have a bunch of bullet points right here. We're going to be starting with the cons or the negatives to the game, and then we're going to be making our way. We're going to be ending off with the positives. So the first negative that I have is what I've already kind of said. I believe this is the most infuriating and unfun Zombies mode ever created. I just simply do, and I'll get more into why that is in a second. But truly, this game past like round... Honestly, even it just starts on round 6 when you get EMZs to spawn in for the first time. But yeah, it's just the most unfun mode literally ever created. But let's just start getting into why. So first of all, this is the only Zombies mode ever created that is behind a paywall, which means there is no launch map. This is the only Zombies game where you actually need to pay, which is funny because it's the worst Zombies mode ever created. It is the worst, most unfun mode that they've ever made, but it's the only one you need to actually pay for. The rest just come bundled with the game as the third mode. This game, Exo Zombies did not launch with Advanced Warfare. It's $15 for Outbreak, which is the launch map. There's only 4 maps in this game. You have to pay for Outbreak, which is a garbage map anyways. All the maps in this game are complete garbage because the systems are complete trash. But yeah, it's the only Zombies mode behind a paywall, so that's a pretty bad thing. Next up, I have... probably the worst thing about this game in general is the special enemy spam. The EMZs single-handedly kill this game. There's a lot of other annoying things that we'll get to in a second, but the EMZs, if you've played this game, you know exactly what it is, a zombie type that spawns in. Okay, EMZs would not be a bad thing. I'm actually fine with them being in the game if you essentially make them spawn in about a quarter of the amount that they do right now. Because once you get past like round 30, half of the entire round is going to be EMZs, and you're going to see it in a second. I have a clip from around 29 or 30 gameplay. You're going to see what I'm talking about. I die in the clip within the first, like, 10 seconds of the round, pretty much, because of EMZs. You're going to see it. You're going to see it right here, people. So, yeah, EMZs completely kill the game, completely ruin it. There's way too many of them for them to even be balanced. They are the worst enemy type in Zombies history. Next up, another negative is you have to pack a punch 20 times in this game. 2,500 points per time, okay? You have to pack-a-punch each gun 20 times, or they call it upgrading. It just gives you a different basic little multiplayer camo, and slightly increases, it refills your ammo each time, but I think it slightly increases your damage. But bottom line is, you have to pack-a-punch 20 times, so that's 50,000 points per gun, just to have your gun still be very weak. Then I have weak box-only wonder weapons, so the wonder weapons in this game are garbage, and you can't craft them, they're only in the box, so you have to rely on RNG, I hate that. Then there's forced objectives on most maps. Outbreak does not have forced objectives. Infection is the worst. Infection is the worst zombies map of all time because it locks you into the sewers. You have survivor rounds, forced objectives. It's complete garbage. Yeah, forced objective. You have to defuse bombs. You have a forced boss fight on descent. I mean, it's complete trash. Next up, I have boring perk names, icons, and machines. Like, they're all blue, they're all on the side of the screen, they're all just the exact same. Exo Medic, Exo Health, they're just boring. Weak score streaks overall, generally useless. So, besides the camouflage, the Goliath on descent, and the Sentinel reinforcements, every single kill streak in this game's garbage. And you'll see some gameplay in a second of me using kill streaks, I think. And then, last thing I have for a negative for this game is there's simply room for many more perks. Stamina Up, Mule Kick, Deadshot, Daiquiri, Modern Quick Revive, where your health regenerates quicker. Wouldn't that be really helpful in this frickin' game? And then Double Tap 2.0. If those perks were in this game, instead of garbage like Exo Slam, I'm telling you, this game would be a lot better. But let's get into the pros. Now, there aren't too many pros because, again, I despise this game, but essentially I have your upgrade level persists from box weapons. So if I have a level 15 weapon, a Mark 15 weapon basically, and I get rid of it, and then I get it again from the box, it'll come out Mark 15. It'll save my progress, which is good. And then another thing, another positive, is there's a timer in the top left when you open your scoreboard for each round. It tells you how long you've been on the round for. I do like that. It's the only zombies game that has that. Next up, I have unique wonder weapon ideas and cool useful equipment. So the equipment in this game is definitely pretty good. The wonder weapons are garbage, but at least they're unique ideas. And then you got like the nano swarm and the distraction drones, which are required in this game. Contact grenades, teleporting grenades. So some cool, useful equipment. Next up, I have no perk limit and persists after downing, so you don't lose. There's no perk limit, and then you keep your perks after downing. The game would be unplayable if you did, though. And here we go, we got two more positives for this game, and I really had to think about the positives. I really had to sit here and think about what I actually appreciate from this game, because there's not much, but I have consistent max ammo rounds on here, so you get dogs. Dogs are nice and chill. The infected round is kind of annoying, but at least it's a max ammo round that consistently comes like every 4 to 5 rounds, so I do like that. Every single zombies game and map should have consistent max ammo rounds, and we'll get to that later with some other games. And then the last thing I have is another positive, of course, unique power-ups. So this game actually does have a good power-up drop rate, and it has some cool power-up ideas, like the security drop. Obviously, it's got the main power-ups, so they replaced insta-kill, or hyper damage, in the later maps, Carrier and Descent, with essentially a star power. It's an explosive touch, where it replaces the insta-kill, like I said, so there's no insta-kill on those two maps, but anything that touches you dies instantly. It's really, really cool. Yeah, so some cool, there's also infinite ammo as well, so some cool power-up ideas, but overall, like I said, 2 out of 10. I literally despise this game. If you watch me play it ever live, you'll hear me complaining the entire time. I mean, look at how bad this game is. It's so bad, but here we go, guys. Coming in at number 11, the second worst zombies game of all time. This is Vanguard, alright? And this game, I give a 3 out of 10 rating, and the description I give for it is essentially the most missed potential award. Because think about it, this game is technically the first zombies game to be on like the 2019 engine with mounting and, you know, the tactical sprint and everything like that. So this game, and it's set in World War II, and it has like the Dark Ether, like these chalices and like the Dark Ether gods and everything. They could have done a lot if they would have just simply had time to make this game. That's really what it comes down to, is this game was made in a couple months, if that, people. Treyarch was forced to make this game. That's why it turned out so poorly, and barely any content exists in this game. There's really not much. So let's get into the negatives here for Vanguard. Essentially, there's only 2 round-based maps, and one is a remake that you're seeing me play in this gameplay. So there's Duran Fang and Terra Maledicta, which are essentially mini versions of Outbreak. It's combining round-based with Outbreak gameplay, or round-based with objective gameplay. It didn't work. It just didn't work on Duran Fang and Terra Maledicta. They're multiplayer maps. that, you know, with zombies on them pretty much. And then you have Shinonuma Reborn, which we'll get to later, is literally an incredible map. And then you have the Archon, which is a remake of Terra Maledicta. So you have a remake, 2 round-based maps in this game. One is a remake of an objective-based map that's literally in this game. So, yeah. Next negative I have is the Cold War mechanics are in this game. I despise the Cold War mechanics. I'll get into that more in detail once we actually rank Cold War as a whole. But yeah, Cold War mechanics, point system, salvage, field upgrades, PAP system, all that garbage. Yeah, I mean, we'll get to that later. We will get to that later, but it's in this game, mini-map, whatever, all those things, okay? We'll get to those things later. But next up, I have no Mule Kick or unique wonder weapons. Think about this. Besides the Decimator Shield, you have the Ray Gun and the Wonder Waff across 4 maps in this game. And all the Decimator Shield is just the Dragon Shield. It just blasts it just kills a horde of zombies with a blast, basically, an energy blast. That's it. That's all it does. So I don't consider that a new wonder weapon at all. Plus, nobody uses it. Everybody just uses the Wonder Waff in this game anyways, which you'll see me use later on in the gameplay. Then I have reused and weaker field upgrades. Yeah, I don't understand why they reused literally all of the field upgrades from Cold War, but just made them weaker. Like, there's the energy mine right there. The non-upgraded one. Yes, you can upgrade them in-game, as you can see right here, it's fully upgraded, but still, garbage. Way, way worse than Cold War's field upgrades. And they're the exact same, you know? They look cooler because they're Dark Ether gods and everything, the theme, but that's it. Next up, another negative is the Super Sprinters spawn way too early. This is the earliest you ever get Super Sprinters. Super Sprinters shouldn't even exist in zombies in the first place, and we'll get to that more later with Cold War and everything, but yeah, they start spawning in around 35. Why? Why around 35? It's 55 in BO4. 55 in BO4 in Cold War. Why is it 35 in this game? 20 rounds earlier. For what? And then another thing I have is this game is just simply a huge step down from Cold War. It is. It's only got 2 kill streaks, for example. Cold War has like 10 at least. 10 kill streaks at least that you can craft and everything. This game has the War Machine and the Death Machine. That's it. They never added anything else. Literally nothing else. Not a mortar strike, airstrike, carpet bombing, nothing. Literally nothing. Ball turret gunner, whatever. Anything for multiplayer. And the last negative I have is a big negative. Well, that's why I wanted to save it for last, is this game mode is online only. So therefore, you lag in solo. Yes, this is the first Zombies game where you literally lag in solo, and you lag a lot. I lag a lot when I play this game in solo. But coming in, or not coming in, we're going to be getting into the positives now for this game. So the Covenant system is the first positive. I don't love the Covenant system, but I think it's all right. It doesn't hurt the game. It definitely is, you know, I'm fine with it being in the game. The next thing is out-of-game progression, the next positive here. So this game has a camo grind. It's a long camo grind, but, I mean, you want to know why this game is above Exo Zombies? Because of content and replayability. There is more replayability because you can go for something like Dark Ether in this game, or calling card challenges, whatever, 100%. You can do that. There's none of that in Exo Zombies. The next thing I have is lower special enemy spam, and wonder weapons counter them well. So, like, the Wonder Waff just completely murders Zavala and the Sturmkriegers. And other than that, like, there's no other bosses in this game. And those guys are, like I said, you can kill those guys pretty quickly. And, like, look at this. Look at the ray gun. Just destroy that Sturmkrieger, you know, on round 40. So, there's less special enemy spam, and basically the wonder weapons counter them pretty well. And then the next thing I have is you can upgrade perks in-game. I like this more than just you know, permanent, like, you know, the perma upgrades, basically the permanent upgrades from Cold War that you upgrade in the lobby. I prefer upgrading things in-game, I would say. Next thing I have is Shinonuma Reborn is A tier, and it is the best version of Shinonuma. It is the only highlight, really, of Vanguard Zombies in terms of the maps. It is a very, very good map. I mean, it's the only version of Shinonuma with a Pack-a-Punch, which makes zombies, in my opinion, and with an Easter egg that I did earlier this year, and it's just an expanded version of Shinonuma. I think it just works the best. So then the final positive I have is a pretty big one as well, and this is the guns that are in the box come pack-a-punched, and they're also on the wall. You can buy them off the wall and they'll be pack-a-punched, which removes rarities from the game. I don't understand. This is a way better system than just having rarities in the game, just making it so you get papped weapons from the box and on the wall later on in the game, obviously. Or if you're just lucky early on, you can get a gold tier 3 papped weapon early on. So yeah, I really, really do like that because I hate rarities, and we'll get to that later once we get to Cold War and everything like that. And coming in at number 10, the third worst zombies games. We're still at the bad zombies games, I would say. This is, of course, Modern Warfare 3, which I give this a 3.5 out of 10, so just 0.5 of a rating, 0.5 higher than Vanguard was. So this one, basically, the description I would give for this game is open world only mistake. So let's just get right into the negatives, because that's going to explain what the description is. So there are no round-based experiences in this game. It is only on Urzikstan, the Warzone map. That's literally the only content, the only map in this game is the Warzone map. It's literally just zombies and I guess these mercenaries copy and pasted on the Warzone map with objectives, contracts you have to do. That's all it is. Literally all it is. No round-based experiences at all. The only zombies game to not have any round-based experiences. So that is obviously the biggest issue with this game. The next issue, the next negative I have is, again, the Cold War mechanics return. Like the point system, like the PAP system, like the armor, like the field upgrades, perks, everything like that. It works better in this game because those systems just don't work for round-based at all, but they work a little bit better for a game mode like this. Like the point system and everything like that, because the point system has changed in this game anyways. It's not the same as it is in Cold War exactly. But next up is, the next negative is a big one. This game mode is online only, so you'll lag, and you'll lag if you're playing solo like I am right here. And then there's also an hour time limit. So this game mode actually has a 45-minute timer as soon as you start the game, but then the storm gives you basically like 15 minutes to exfil before it completely consumes the map and ends the game. But yeah, you're on a server, so there's an hour time limit for each game. Very, very annoying, but I guess for an extraction-based mode like this, it makes sense. And basically, that just makes it hard to find games. Like, it took a few minutes to find this game right here a couple days ago when I played this, because again, if you have to find a lobby to play this game, even if you're playing solo like I am right here, you have to find a lobby. You have to search for an online game because it's only online, and you have to play with a bunch of other people on this massive Warzone map. So it's hard to find games now. It just is. And again, you're lagging because it's always online. It's always on a server. And then another negative is there is just really nothing to do after you get all the missions done and all the schematics. I don't have all the schematics, not even close. Like the higher tier ones and all the Dark Ether. I don't have any of the Dark Ether schematics because I haven't gone into the Dark Ether yet in this game. I played this game very casually, but yeah, there's just nothing really to do after that. The gameplay would get pretty stale, the gameplay loop, I feel like, because there's no round base. You can't go for high rounds or anything. Then the last negative I have is this game mode simply failed due to lack of updates and variety. Because it's not round based, there's no Easter eggs, you can't speed run really anything like that or do anything crazy, do any challenges. Yeah, this game mode just wasn't updated enough. Treyarch barely had time to make this mode, because Treyarch did make this mode, even though it was Sledgehammer's MW3, that was their game they made. But Treyarch had to make this mode, obviously. They just didn't update it too much, because they were working on BO6 and BO7 as well at the time, so couldn't do really too much. But next up, we're going to be getting into the positives for this game mode. This is, in my opinion, the best, I think it's easily the best open world zombies we've gotten, which I would certainly hope so, because that's all this game has to offer, is open world zombies. But yeah, I think this is way more fun than Outbreak. I despise Outbreak. I really do. At least you can tell they tried a little bit with this mode. Outbreak, they did not. They really did not at all. It's just on multiplayer maps. I hate it. Coming in at... Well, why do I keep saying that, dude? I'm so used to saying that. But the next positive I have is the story missions are fun to do. They do give you some acquisitions and rewards and stuff like that. It is kind of nice. But they're pretty basic. But, you know, they're fun to do. They keep you occupied a little bit. Next up, the next positive I have is this is a unique overall experience. And like I said earlier, it is an extraction-based mode. So you go in, extract high-tier items, and then you come back later on to your you exfil or you infill again to a new lobby, a new game, and, you know, you have the rewards from last game. So that's the extraction-based mode, obviously, because you have to call in the helicopter to exfil you and everything like that, escape the storm. So it's an interesting mode, and it is definitely a unique experience, and I don't mind playing it every now and then. But next up I have, it is fun to collect schematics. It is definitely really satisfying when you collect some higher tier schematics, especially in like this tier 3 zone, because it's so difficult to survive in. But next up I have the Dark Ether implementation. I do think is good, even though all I've seen is just gameplay, because like I said, I haven't actually gone into the Dark Ether yet in this game, but I do think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, I think it, you know, I think usually they do the Dark Ether pretty well in zombies games, but I think this game did it a little bit better than most have. And then the last thing I have is this game mode is fun in co-op, but I've never played it in co-op because, I mean, unless you want to count just randoms that are in the lobby with me, because I have to search for a server game. You know, I can't just start a solo matchup. Got to search for a game, but I don't consider that actually co-op. This game mode is definitely a lot better if you're playing with friends, but I'm a solo player. I've never played this game mode online, so I do have that as a positive, even though, like I said, I've only played this game solo. But yeah, so overall, MW3 Zombies, I don't hate this game. I definitely would play it. It does have a camo grind as well. I forgot to mention that. It's got 2 camo grinds, technically, for MW2 and MW3 weapons. But overall, I definitely would play this over Vanguard and Exo Zombies, but still not too good. But coming in, guys, at number 9... we have the first Zombies game of all time. Now this list might start getting a little bit controversial. I would still consider us to be in the bad section of Zombies games. This would be like the last bad Zombies game, I would say. So, World at War Zombies, the start of it all. I give this game a 4 out of 10. And basically the only description I have for it is simply the basics. Because it literally laid the foundation, laid the groundwork for Zombies. It came out in 2008. I mean, what is it, 15 years old? Actually, more than that now, huh? Holy. It's like 17 years old, right? Crazy, dude. I mean, BO3 just turned 10 years old. My goodness. And that, you know, World at War was 8 years before that, so basically 18 years old, man. But anyways, so World at War Zombies, let's get into the negatives, of course. So there's only 4 very basic maps in this game, and only one of them have a pack-a-punch machine. So... you know, listen, I hate it when maps don't have pack-a-punch machines, and Nocturne and Toten is supposed to be basic, but Varrock doesn't have a pap machine or a good training spot, so it's very annoying to play. This map is the second best map. It might actually be, Shino Numa might be my favorite map in the game, because we'll get to Dur-East in a second on why it's so bad to me, and the worst version of Dur-East for sure. But, yeah, not having pack-a-punch kills this game. Kills most of the maps in this game. So... next up, I have the glitchiest game of all time. This is the glitchiest game of all time, no doubt about that. And Dur-East in this game is the glitchiest map of all time. Like, there's no reason to use the Wonder Waff because it literally takes your jug. They never fix that glitch. And you get stuck on the zombies. Quick Revive doesn't work in solo. And knifing is just garbage in this game. Like, there are a lot of glitches that happen with this game. But yeah, so... Quick Revive not working in solo, very, very annoying because, again, you get stuck on, you get grabbed by zombies in this. Like, your deaths in this game are the most stupid deaths of all time. And I cut them a little bit of slack because it is the first Zombies game ever made, of course, but it is very annoying to go back to. Just the mechanics of it. And then the last negative I have is there are very weak weapons in this game, and there's just simply little replayability because, I mean, the weak weapons is because there's no Double Tap 2.0 and no Pack-a-Punch on most maps. Little replayability, there's nothing to earn in this mode. Like I said, the maps are extremely basic, little to do on them. No Easter eggs, very, very little to do. But next we're getting into the positives, alright? So, basically, the first positive that I really, really want to explain to you guys, really, really want to let you guys know where my mind is with this. If you think World at War, if you think this is a low placement, let me tell you what the first positive is. World at War Zombies is the second best Zombies game of all time if you count custom zombies. Listen, I've watched custom zombies a lot. I want to play custom zombies. I don't have a good enough computer to play custom zombies yet, alright? I play on Xbox. I've never played customs, but if you are counting custom zombies, this is the second best Zombies game. It shoots from number 9 to number 2, alright, because of custom zombies single-handedly. The next positive is this game mode laid the groundwork and foundation for the entire mode, so, I mean, without this game mode, we wouldn't have zombies, so you gotta respect that. And then, the next positive I have is this game mode is still fun every once in a while to go back to. It definitely is really cool to return to where it all started, for sure, even though it is so glitchy and everything. You know, if you play it every once in a while, once every year or something like that, it's not too bad. And then the last positive I have is this game has probably the most iconic set of weapons and Pack-a-Punch names in Zombies history. I mean, I think it does, besides maybe BO1, but we'll get to BO1 later. This game mode has better weapons than BO1 Zombies. Like, they're just simply better. They perform better. They're more powerful and everything, which is crazy. But, yeah, the weapons are just simply iconic, like the PPSH, MG42, the Browning, the BAR, the MP40, just these classic World War II weapons, World War II era weapons. And it's funny because Vanguard Zombies actually copied the names for the Pack-a-Punch names, some of them from World at War. Like the bar is called the Widowmaker in World at War and Vanguard Zombies. The MG42, I'm pretty sure, is the Barracuda FU Wall in Vanguard. So it's the exact same thing. I don't know if the MP40 is the Afterburner in Vanguard. I don't know if it is exactly, but yeah, so, I mean, the PAP names and the weapons just in this game have to be iconic. They have to be, like, the most iconic set of weapons in Zombies history, considering they literally copied the names over 10 years later, and they're still doing it in Vanguard and stuff like that. Like, it's crazy. Very, very iconic names. Very, very iconic set of weapons. I mean, how can you not love the PPSH in this game, dude? The PPSH is just... I mean, remember how crazy people went almost 10 years ago when Gorod Krovi came out just because they saw the PPSH? Like, that just goes to show how iconic... Like, seriously, the PPSH alone is one of the most iconic weapons. Then you got other ones like the PTRS, which is really cool in this game. You got some really, really cool weapons. You got the Flogger right here. Obviously, this game introduced traps. I didn't mention that, but traps, perks, I mean, you know, again, all the basic things. Introduced the box. This map is what introduced the box. Actually, no. Verrucht is where the box moved for the first time. This is where you could see the light in the sky for the box. But, yeah, and then Shinonuma introduced the characters, the OG crew for the first time, which is awesome, even though you can only play as Dempsey and solo. But, yeah, so there's World at War, 4 out of 10. Coming in at number 8, I have World War II Zombies, and this game is a 5 out of 10 for me. 5 out of 10, and the description I would give for World War II is this game is simply plagued by bad maps. Bad maps, we're going to get to that in a second, is really what has this, is really the reason this game is so low. It would be higher up because I do actually like this game. I do, it in general, as in World War II, like as a whole, COD World War II, I love COD World War II. I have Chrome and multiplayer, I love this game. Love this game entirely, but Zombies is the weakest part about it. So let's get into the negatives. So, extremely weak maps besides the Final Reich, which is the launch map. Final Reich is an A-tier map, but other than that, the maps in this game, like, you're seeing me play Shadowed Throne, which is basically a glorified survival map. Darkest Shore is a glorified survival map. So is Frozen Dawn. What I mean by that is, it feels like they're the size of a survival map, but with, like, an Easter egg, you know, side Easter eggs, a main Easter egg, all that. That's what I mean by glorified survival map. That's what these maps feel like to me. They're just way too boring. Graphics in this game as well, the lighting, I hate it. It just looks so gray and everything. I guess they were going for that, but I don't like it. DLC 3 was also wasted in this game. Tortured Path, objective-based gameplay, and just survival maps, like, it was wasted. They wasted DLC 3. They could have had another good map like Final Reich, but they wasted it on that. Next up, for the negatives, I have, this is the game that really started the special enemy boss spam. It wasn't BO4. BO4 was the first Treyarch game. This is the game, you know, and you got like 3 whistlings per round past like round 30 in this game mode. Every single round, 3 whistlings, bullet sponges, very, very annoying enemy types. This is the game that started the special enemy boss spam. And then the next thing I have is the armor system is annoying. I don't think it's horrible, but it is very, very annoying to deal with. When you get hit, literally, you get red screen after 2 hits, and then on your 3rd hit, you start losing armor. 4th, you lose another armor plate. 5th, you lose another armor plate, and then on 6th hit, you die. It's annoying. And then if a whistling hits you once, you're already red screen. It's just annoying. Next up, I have weak wonder weapons that are not in the box. Again, this is going to be another thing for IW later on, but I hate this. I hate it when the wonder weapons are garbage, and they're not even in the box. I have to go out of my way to craft them. Like, I have to craft the Wonder Bus. You have to actually use the Wonder Bus to open Pack-a-Punch on this map. I did a video this summer using all the Frozen Dawn Wonder Weapons in one game. They're garbage. They're complete garbage, dude. Like, the Wonder Weapons are horrible other than the Tesla guns, because the Tesla guns are actually infinite damage. I haven't fully upgraded some of the other Wonder Weapons in this game, but the Wonder Weapons I have used, other than the Tesla guns, are all way too weak. And again, they're way too hard to get because you need to do a quest to get them instead of just having them be in the box and be craftable, like in BO4. The next negative I have is there's no camo grind, so for every game that came out after BO3, this is going to be a negative. So imagine how much more fun this game would be if I had a camo grind. It would add up a lot of replayability, you know? It's that simple. Next up, the final negative I have for World War II Zombies is there is a very boring and restrictive perk system in this game. There's only 6 perks in this game. So why is there a 4 perk limit? And why is there a mod that only grants you 1 extra perk instead of the other 2? There should not be a perk limit. Look, I love perk limits in Zombies. I feel like most Zombies games should have perk limits, but not this game. I feel like it hurts this game. And the perks themselves are boring. They have a little bit more personality and life to them than Exo Zombies, but they're just so boring, dude. And again, it's just way too restrictive. But now we're getting into the positives for this game. I do have some positives here. So this game mode has good mechanics and overall direction, like with the horror type theme that they were going for with this mode, and then also the the Nazi zombies theme, of course. Just a darker theme for zombies. I do kind of like that. Good mechanics, basically, like, what I mean by that is the pack-a-punch. You only have to pap one time. The point system's good. The power-up system's good. The equipment system's good. You know, the specialist is alright in this game. So, good mechanics. Next up, I have the great pap ammo system. So, you'll see a little bit of gameplay here later on at the end of this clip right here for World War II. But essentially, you can go up, as long as you have a bullet weapon, you can go up to the pack-a-punch machine and pack-a-punch after you pack-a-punch your gun, when it's upgraded already, you can go up to it and refill all your ammo for a gun for 4,000 points. Sound familiar? It should, because Modern Zombies has the Warzone ammo crates around the entire map that are literally copy and pasted from Warzone around every single corner, and you can buy ammo for literally any gun, including wonder weapons. This game, like I said, it's only bullet weapons you can buy ammo for, but it's only from the pap machine. Doesn't that work a lot better than having Warzone ammo crates just scattered around the map every single corner you turn around? I feel like this pap ammo system is way, way better. Way, way better. It only works for guns. It's way better. The next positive I have is the mod system is just as good as WAW-BO6 augments. So, the mods in this game, I do feel like work very, very well. Especially because there's a mod where you can, like, have mule kick and, like, have PhD effects and stuff like that. I do feel like it works. I'm not a huge fan of the WAW-BO6 augment system, and the mod system, if you've ever used it in this game, it's very similar. You can only have 3 mods, but you can upgrade your specialist, or you can upgrade, like, your character, universal mods. So, I actually don't mind the mod system. Next up, I have the best loadout system in history. So, the people who want loadouts and zombies just so they can grind camos easier, well, this is the best game for it. This is the game that did loadouts the best, in my opinion. You can actually do Easter eggs, so you can spawn in with higher tier weapons, like a Tommy gun, like a Thompson, or an MP40. That's really, really cool. I think you can spawn in with, like, an M1 Grand, if you do Easter eggs. That's how it should be. And you shouldn't be able to spawn in with overpowered assault rifles or LMGs, and you can in this game. You have to actually earn everything. The next positive I have is the optional consumable system. So I think even though I don't use the consumables too much in this game or any zombies game, I do think it's always nice to have them be there as an option for you to use. So the next thing I have is there are earnable characters to play as. So you can actually earn characters from completing Easter eggs and everything like that to play as. I do like that. And the last thing is the great order system and prestige system in this game. So, again, more replayability, more stuff to do outside of the game itself. I do like that. The orders, I've always liked the daily and weekly order system in this game. Works very, very well. You can see me using the PAP right here. 4,000 jolts, 4,000 points, and all my ammo's refilled only from that one area on the map. It works very, very well. Now, coming in at number 7... is Black Ops Cold War with a 5.5 out of 10, and my description for this game is it should have been one unique game. It should have been one unique zombies game, because I would have this game higher up, I feel like, if every single game after it for the last 5 years was not just a repeat of this game, with the exact same mechanics and the exact same systems. This game would be a lot more appreciated if it was the only game that was like this, with these mechanics and with these... just the rarities and just everything. So, let's get into the negatives. There are quite a lot for this game. A lot more negatives than positives. So, this game single-handedly introduced the worst systems and mechanics in zombies history due to Warzone. Without Warzone's influence, we wouldn't have a mini-map in zombies. We wouldn't have this new point system, which completely kills any weapon variety at all. You know, you never use anything but the meta weapons, which is a shotgun nowadays, like the Gallo in this game. Rarities were added. Why are rarities in the game? Why are rarities in the game when you already have a multi-tier PAP system? Why? Simply why? And also, because perks do more damage. Perks lie to do more damage, like Deadshot in this game. Why do you need rarities on top of that? Okay. Salvage is another thing, shouldn't be in the game. Score streaks, copy and pasted for multiplayer, shouldn't be in the game. Field upgrades really should not be in the game. Armor, obviously, is worse than a shield in every single way. The ammo cache system should not be in the game. So, just systems like that, complete garbage. Next positive, or next, definitely not positive. The next negative I have is this game mode is not replayable due to these Warzone mechanics. I cannot do a Pack-a-Punch challenge in this game where I pap every gun on the map in one game. Can't do it. because the multi-tier PAP system. Cannot do it. Your weapons are way too weak if you only PAP one time. And there's way too many weapons in the box because they just stuff all the DLC weapons in the box. So you also can't do a box roulette challenge really because the PAP system and the rarity system and everything like that. Two box challenges are just so boring. All the challenges that are classic zombie challenges are just bad and boring in this game because of the Warzone mechanics. Yeah, they're terrible. Next negative I have is this game began the trend of making zombies games for non-zombies players. So Treyarch and everybody who makes zombie, well, I guess it's really just Treyarch nowadays. When they make zombies game modes, they cater to casuals. They cater to people who only play zombies for the camo grind. It's just that simple. Like, you can tell because every single game after Cold War was not any different than Cold War. It's all made for casuals that don't actually play zombies and really could not even pack a punch probably on Keynote or Toten. If you told them to go do some gameplay, go hop on Keynote or Toten, they probably couldn't even pap on it first try. So the next thing I have, the next negative, is this game ruined things like the Wonder Fizz. I hate the Wonder Fizz system in this game. It is not random, and it's just way too easy to use. There's no reason to use perk machines in this map. Just go to the Wonder Fizz and spawn, usually. And then it also ruined max ammos. I mean, max ammos don't even refill your equipment in this, your grenades or your equipment, whatever you have, because you have to pick them up like a Warzone loot system. But it killed max ammos because of the ammo cache system. No reason really to get max ammos. They don't do anything in this game. The next negative I have is the horrible PAP system and unsatisfying perk system. It's never going to be fun or satisfying pack-a-punching my gun and spending 50,000 points to upgrade one gun. It wasn't fun in Exo Zombies. Don't know why Treyarch decided to add it into every single Zombies game, starting with this one. The unsatisfying perk system. This game would be better with a perk limit, for sure. And we'll get to that later on once we get to like BO2 and IW. I'll talk about my ideal perk system, but this game does not have it. Being able to just get all the perks and become overpowered without having to do any side Easter eggs or anything like red dig piles is very, very boring. It just is. So the next thing I have is the terrible special enemy spam and super sprinters and damage scaling. This game, I'm pretty sure, is what introduced damage scaling, where zombies do more damage to you on the higher the round, whatever round you're on. The higher the round you are, the more damage zombies will do to you. Horrible, horrible mechanic. Obviously, super sprinters as well should not exist in zombies. They ruin the game. They ruin training. It's boring. Very, very annoying. And then, the special enemy spam, like, you got like 50 disciples per round, 50 mimics per round, manglers. Then you got the bosses on top of that. It's just so annoying, man. The next negative I have is this game has extremely basic Easter egg design. I've done all the Easter eggs in this game now, and they were all extremely basic. I beat most of them first try. Or, on my second attempt at the latest. So, very, very easy Easter eggs, very basic. There's also basic and lackluster maps. Very, very basic and lackluster maps, very disappointing maps. Mauer Toten is the only map that I really like in this game. D-Machine is okay. Firebase is very bland and disappointing, same with Forsaken. But an Outbreak, again, I don't even count Outbreak. Next up, this game has boring and OP field upgrades. You don't have to earn them like you do in BO3. It's just very, very boring, just spawning in with an extremely overpowered field upgrade. And then the loadout system as well kills any sort of progression, kills like the first 10 to 15 rounds of the game. Most people, again, are Warzone players that play this game and support and defend this game. So what they do is they'll spawn in with a Galil or whatever gun they're working on for camos. They'll spawn in with it, use it for the entire game, exfil on 31. That's all they do. This game also butchered the mystery box. You have to be looking directly at it to hit it. You can't have your back to it, and it's also just very clunky in this game. Very, very annoying hitting the box in this game. They ruined it. High rounds are also made way too easy with the Cold War mechanics. High rounds are way too easy in this game. It definitely makes them not very satisfying. Because round 100 means nothing in this game. Round 50 certainly means nothing. There's also no dedicated crew. It's the only game not to have a dedicated crew. There's only operators, so that kills any sort of storyline or any sort of, like the cutscenes in this game are just so cringy because you can just have, Ghostface or Rambo in a cutscene. It's very, very annoying. There's no reason to rank up because, 2019 introduced this. It took away prestiges, and there's no reason to rank up in this game. There's no level 1000. Very, very useless to rank up. My level means nothing. And then Outbreak is boring and complete garbage. I despise Outbreak. Like, complete garbage, man. Don't even consider it to really be zombies. That's why I just want to get off of it right now. So, the first positive I have is this game does have very fun, 100% unique wonder weapons. There's not a single reused wonder weapon in this game, and they are a lot of fun to use for sure. This game also has more fun high rounds. They're fun, but they're way too easy. They need to strike a balance, and I don't know if they've done that yet. This game's high rounds were fun, but way too easy in my eyes. The movement is also fun, specifically mantling. Yeah, it's fun to be able to mantle over cars and everything like that, over railing. It definitely allows more freedom for the player, allows you to have more freedom. There's more balanced perks. I feel like there's no bad perk in this game. Like, you want to have all the perks. They're all really good. Even Death Perception, dude. Mule Kick gives you ammo. Elemental Pop is a new perk they added. Very, very cool. PhD is amazing in this game, of course. And then the last positive I have is this game does have fun boss fights from what I've done. I've only done the Easter eggs each one time in this game, but the Marauder Totem boss was pretty fun. Demachining isn't even really a boss. It's kind of like a defense wave type thing, and then you got an exfil. Firebase Z's boss is really easy. It's not really too crazy. And then Forsaken's boss, again, easy, but, you know, they're all right. They're not bad. They're not annoying boss fights, so that's why, you know, I have it as a positive. But overall, dude, Cold War, I think, really, really killed zombies, really ruined it, and it's mostly just because of the mechanics that are introduced, and we'll get to those later when we get to BO6. But coming in at number 6, this is the one that is probably going to be the most controversial. Black Ops 1. 6 out of 10, and the award that this game gets is this is the most overrated zombies mode of all time. Alright, let's just get right into it. So, this game has the most boring high rounds in zombies history. Even round 50. I have tried, like, what, 9 times, I think, maybe, to get to round 50 on 5. I have gotten round 50 on 5, but I want to get to round 51, and it takes like 5.5 hours. It takes like 5.5 hours to get to round 50 on Call of the Dead and Moon as well. The only fun round 50 in this game was literally Shangri-La, because the baby gun's so good. But, yeah, extremely, extremely boring high rounds, because this game also has the slowest spawns in zombies history by far. I want you to go play BO1 Call of the Dead or BO1 Moon to round 30. Time it, see how long it takes. It's going to be like 2 hours just to get to round 30. Because of how bad the spawns are, because of how slow they are. It's actually disgusting how bad they are, dude. It's unreal. Then, the next thing I have, the next negative, is this game has very painfully average maps. The best map in this game is probably Call of the Dead. The rest of the maps, though, are just average. I would have them, like, top of C tier, maybe, or lower, because they don't have anything going for them. They feel like survival maps. They're very basic maps, which is crazy to me when people say this game is better. Without Chronicles, this game would be the best zombies game of all time. It's crazy to me because you compare the maps, you compare map to map, like Kino versus Shadows, Ascension versus Horizon Drac. Nobody in their right mind should be saying this is this would be the best zombies game if BO3 didn't have Chronicles. That's absurd to even think about saying that, dude. The next thing I have, the next negative, is most wonder weapons don't give drops or are way too weak. You'll see in the next clip where I'm on round 30, it takes me like 5 minutes to get through one round, even though I have 3 wonder weapons at once, the VR11, ray gun, and the scavenger. The wonder weapons are just so weak, and they don't even give drops. Like, the scavenger is not infinite damage. It drops off by like 35, and it doesn't even give drops. And it doesn't have a lot of ammo either. And you have to run PhD, basically, to use it effectively. Like, the wave gun doesn't give drops. The baby gun's the only one that really gives drops. Even the thunder gun doesn't give drops. But at least the thunder gun is on maps with max ammo rounds. Unlike the wave gun. Okay? So, and also the Winter's Howl, I shouldn't even need to describe. I mean, one of the worst wonder weapons of all time, genuinely. It gives drops, but it drops off by about round 20. So, and it has no ammo. It's complete garbage. Next negative I have is most maps in this game do not have max ammo rounds, which contributes to how slow it is for high rounds, for sure. Definitely is a massive contribution. Call of the Dead, people would have easily gotten around 100 way sooner on solo on this map if max ammo rounds were just here. People always say you can't get to around 100 on Call of the Dead in solo. Well, if max ammo rounds were on the map, yes, you could. Easily. Easily you could. Well, a lot easier, for sure, if there were just dogs on this map. Moon as well, no max ammo rounds. Shangri-La, no max ammo rounds. The rest of the maps do, but half the maps in the game don't have it. Next up, I have Double Tap and Deadshot are useless. Again, like, there's no reason to buy those 2 perks in this game over PhD and Stamina Up and everything like that. There's just simply no reason. The Death Machine is also way too weak in this game because you don't have Double Tap 2.0. Yeah, Death Machine, you don't even want to be using past round 30 because it literally will get you killed. So, useless power up there. This game has the weakest and worst weapon set in zombies history. I mean, I shouldn't even need to explain that. Ballistic Knife, China Lake, Law, PM63, MPL, the... what else am I forgetting? The HS-10, the Spaz. Most of those guns would be actually decent if they had more ammo, and if Double Tap 2.0 was in this game, for sure. If this game had Double Tap 2.0 and the guns had like at least 3 times more ammo than they do, this game would probably be up like 2 more slots than what it is right now. 2 more spots on the ranking. But next up, I have, this game is way too difficult to get more perks on most maps. Call of the Dead is really the only map I can actually get more than 4 perks on, because Shangri-La is way too difficult. Moon, you gotta beat the whole Easter egg, which I don't even think you can do solo, so very, very annoying. Ascension, yeah, good luck getting more perks, more than 4 perks on Ascension in a solo game. Good luck. And then there's no traps on most maps in this game, which again makes it extremely slow. No traps on Call of the Dead or Moon, which is why they're just so slow. Yeah, don't know why traps are not on most of the maps in this game. Then we have Shangri-La. There's no traps on Shangri-La either. There's traps for the player that you can get stuck in, but not that you can activate to kill the zombies themselves. There's also no major Easter eggs or solo Easter eggs in this game. And, you know, Easter eggs don't make or break a game, but they definitely add a lot of replayability. And then the last negative is Moon is the worst, most overrated Treyarch Zombies map ever made. I've talked about Moon extensively. Go watch any of my videos on Moon. I literally could make an entire video just trashing Moon. I could, and I might do it in the future, but yeah, Moon is garbage. But here we go, guys. On to the positives for Black Ops 1 Zombies. I don't have very many, but basically I have the ability to get more perks on most maps, even though I just said it's very difficult to on most maps, but at least you can get more than 4 perks. It's just almost impossible to do, but at least you can get more than 4 perks. They have those systems in the game. They have them in the maps. But the next thing I have is there are good classic systems in this game, like points, perks, PAP, and the damage that the zombies do to you. There's no super sprinters, obviously. I like there being a perk limit, even though I feel like, you know, I wish it was easier to get more than 4 perks on most of the maps other than Call of the Dead. But, yeah, you only pack a punch one time. I like that. Point system, obviously, great in this game. Classic point system. The next positive I have is this game introduced good perks. It introduced Stamina, technically Mule Kick as well. Deadshot, which wasn't that good for a long time, but it introduced Deadshot into the game, which I love nowadays. And then PhD is the big one that this game introduced. And then there's also fun crews to play as. I enjoy playing as literally every single one of the crews in this game. You know, you got the 5 crew, which is a lot of fun to play as, like JFK and Castro and everything like that. And then you got the crew on Call of the Dead, which are very annoying because they repeat the same quotes over and over about the zombies running usually. But they're fun to play as, you know, a celebrity crew right there. And then obviously the main crew, Ultimus, a lot of fun to play as always. And then the last positive I have for this game, the last thing I want to say about BO1 is, in my opinion, this is the best casual, yet still challenging zombies mode. So, it's casual. You can play this game mode casually, for sure, because it's so basic, and the maps are so average, painfully average. But, you know, people that play Keynote or Totem are definitely better than people who only play Liberty Falls or something like that, for sure. People that started out playing Keynote or Totem, because this game mode is definitely difficult, but it's weird because it's difficult because of like how bad the wonder weapons are. There's no traps, the weapons are so weak, the perks are so weak in this game, the equipment's so weak, all that, right? It's difficult because of that, but it's also a very casual mode because of the maps and just how basic it is, you know? It's kind of weird, but it definitely is a casual yet challenging mode. Again, this is probably the take that's going to get me, you know, people watching this video are probably going to be a little bit upset about this, having BO1 this low, but believe me, I don't really enjoy playing this mode. Gotta be honest. Like, go to round 30 on most of the maps in this game. It's not fun. It's just not fun having weapons that don't do anything, you know? And just the spawns are way too slow. There's no traps. Wonder weapons not giving drops is extremely annoying, dude. Like, yeah, dude. Overall, I think this game mode is a 6 out of 10. It's just a middle-of-the-road zombies game. But here we go at number 5, the newest, most current zombies game. I mean, BO7 comes out in literally like a week, but I have, of course, Black Ops 6 with a 6.5 out of 10, slightly higher than BO1. And BO1 and BO6 are kind of interchangeable for me, but I would say this game mode is a little bit more fun for me. So the description I would say for BO6 is this is modern zombies perfected. It is a lot better than Cold War, but this is the furthest that modern zombies can go. I feel like the systems just don't allow for much evolution, this is probably the most that they can do with modern zombies. I mean, hopefully BO7 does a little bit better, but we'll see. So the first negative I have is this game mode retains the garbage Cold War mechanics. You know, it improves on some of them, but it still has the point system, the PAP system, the rarity system, the field upgrade system, the equipment system, the score streak system, the mini-map, the armor system. Like, so much annoying stuff. The special enemy spam, we'll get to that in a second. So this game mode somehow has a worse armor system than Cold War because you need to manually replate, so it's even more like Warzone. It's even more annoying. So, don't know how they made the armor system worse, but it's one of the only things that this game did worse than Cold War, I will say that. There's also way more reused wonder weapons than Cold War. Like, the jet gun is reused, the ice staff is reused, the wonder waff is reused, and the ray guns are, some of them are reused. Like, the shotgun one is definitely reused straight from Alpha Omega. It's the exact same thing. Even the same color. This game mode also has the worst spawn system in history. It's not slow, but it's the complete opposite of slow. Because they removed Carpenter, they removed rebuildable barriers, and therefore zombies literally just spawn ahead of you. Go play Terminus. Actually, even better, go watch my Terminus round 75 attempt from a couple months ago. Go skip to the end of that video, see how difficult it was, how impossible it was to train on that map because of the spawn system and just the modern zombies mechanics. Go watch that, okay? If you don't know what I'm talking about with the spawns. Next up, this game has horribly annoying high rounds due to super sprinters spawning in by round 40, and special enemy spam once again returning with doppelgas and manglers and mimics, shock mimics in this game. And then also damage scaling returns from Cold War and Vanguard and MW3 and everything like that. It returns. Don't know why they think damage scaling is a good thing. It never will be. Hopefully it gets removed. And then the next negative I have is this game mode it feels impossible to avoid getting hit due to zombies already swinging at you before you even get close to them, which I'm pretty sure is server lag. I'm pretty sure because this mode is on a server, the zombies literally, it feels like your movement means nothing in this game. I get hit more in this game than any other zombies game easily, okay? Because they hit you before you're even close to them. In the old zombies games, you could avoid getting hit by a zombie if you went away from them quickly, but in this game, they're already swinging at you before you even get close to them. So by the time you do get close to them, you get hit. I hate that, dude. Another negative is this is a big one. This game mode is online only, which means you lag in solo. I lag every single time I play this game in solo. I lag. Just random lag spikes, and I've died numerous times because I'm lagging in a solo private match of zombies. Okay? So this game mode also completely killed meleeing. There's no reason to melee in this game. It's completely useless because you get less points for getting a melee kill than you do a headshot. Explain to me how that makes any sense. Genuinely explain. Explain right now. Go ahead. You really can't explain it. Luckily, they're sort of fixing it for BO7, where you can get melee critical kills, but still, why is meleeing useless in this game? I don't understand it. The next negative I have is just one little smaller thing, but I do feel like it definitely is pretty important at the same time. There's no mule kick in this game. All these perks, you have useless perks like melee macchiato, but yet no mule kick. Why? They added death perception, but not mule kick. Mule kick was really good and really cool in Cold War. It's not in this game. Why? It's not even in the game as an augment, at least. Like the mod that I talked about from World War II earlier. Yeah, there's no mule kick. I guess just because they thought dedicated melee slot was essentially your mule kick slot, but it's not the same as having a third gun. It's just not. Because, I mean, on any other map, if you're on Shattered Vale, you get the Wonder Waff, you can only hold one other gun. You can't hold two guns. You can have one other gun because there's no mule kick. So, then the last negative I have for BO6 is the boss fights are just way too difficult for how easy the quests are. I hated doing the boss fights on most of the maps in this game because they're way too difficult, way too annoying. I failed them way too many times, even though the Easter eggs themselves, the quests, are extremely, extremely easy. Very, very annoying. I would much rather have a Blood of the Dead type system where the Easter egg is difficult and the boss fight is easier. Much rather have that. Then we have the positives for BO6. So this is basically just a better, more polished version of Cold War. For example, it has a dedicated crew. That's a nice important thing. But yeah, just a more polished version of Cold War overall, BO6 also improved on the Wonder Fizz system. It's a lot more balanced in this game, although it should be random in my eyes. It definitely is a lot better at round 25 than it is in Cold War. There's only one type of salvage. That's just a nice change they made. Gobblegums are present, even though I don't use them. I like them being in the game, of course. The augment system, in my eyes, is superior compared to the Cold War perma upgrades that are just, you know, equipable in the lobby, just permanent upgrades. I do definitely prefer the augment system. It feels like the augments are more, you know, you change them up every now and then, you know, for different playstyles. It is kind of nice. Save and quit is a good thing, but I don't want it in the game if I'm going to be lagging in solo, like this game has. I don't want it in the game. I don't even use save and quit enough to warrant. I lag way more than I use save and quit, okay? There's more challenging high rounds. Like I said, they're very annoying, but at least they're more challenging. It means something, actually getting around 75 in this game compared to Cold War, which means nothing. And then there's more side Easter eggs in this game than Cold War for sure. And there are overall more challenging Easter eggs, like the main Easter egg quests. They are more challenging than Cold War, so they feel more satisfying when you complete them. And they have pretty good rewards. Although there's no super Easter egg in this game, right? They never added a super Easter egg, did they? Wait till we get to the next game in a couple seconds. I will, yeah, the next game we talk about has the best super Easter egg of all time. And it is, yeah, I'm very, very excited to talk about that. But yeah, overall, BO6, like I said, 6.5 out of 10. It's just slightly higher than BO1. BO6 is just more replayable. I forgot to mention it has the camo grind, so obviously, and you can prestige and everything, so you have out-of-game progression unlike BO1. So yeah, BO6, slightly better than BO1. But here we go at number 4, guys. I am very, very excited to talk about this game. Infinite Warfare Zombies, 7.5 out of 10. And this game is the most underrated game of all time. It just simply is. I'm not just talking about Call of Duty. I'm talking of all time. I genuinely don't think any game has been overhated as much as Infinite Warfare as a whole. Okay, I genuinely think this is an S-tier Call of Duty game as a whole. I think the campaign is great for anyone that's played it. I think the multiplayer is great for anyone that's played it and not just hopped on the bandwagon and left a dislike on the reveal trailer and then never touched this game again, or never even touched this game in the first place since the reveal trailer, since they just left a dislike after their favorite YouTuber told them to do it 10 years ago almost. But zombies in this game is simply extremely, extremely fun and underrated. So let's get into the few negatives that I have on this game. This game has the most positives out of any zombies game. So let's get into the negatives though. The wonder weapons are never in the box unless you're using director's cut, which I was in this gameplay. That's why I was able to get the wonder weapons so quickly. But yeah, wonder weapons never in the box. You have to craft every single one of them. Definitely don't like that, especially on like a map from a map like Beast from Beyond. The Venom X, you should be able to get it from the box. You can, but again, you need director's cut. So the next negative I have is the Beast from Beyond is a D-tier zombies map due to the special enemy spam. Like the slashers, the ninjas, the cryptids, the clowns, which on their own wouldn't be that bad, but when you have them all coming at you at once, like on top of all the zombies, it's unplayable. Unplayable. And you have the phantoms too, like, it's unplayable. The ninja zombies also hold back Shaolin Shuffle. I think, like I said earlier, EMZs are the worst zombie type in history, but EMZs, or ninja zombies, are the second worst. Genuinely. Ninjas, if you played this game, you know how annoying the ninja zombies are. I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. It just annoys me. The Spaceland wonder weapons, like right here, the space blasters, the alien pistols, whatever, they're just too weak. I'm using the upgraded versions right here. They were pretty decent till like around 35 or something. But that's because they're upgraded. But you have to have director's cut or beat the Easter egg to upgrade them, you know? And they're just too weak, you know? You have to do a decent amount of work to get them, and they're just way too weak. But they are extremely cool, which we'll get to. This game also has very uncommon power-ups due to the pouch system, the backpacks that the zombies drop. So that kind of replaces the power-ups that you actually get, like, you know, nukes and insta-kills and everything, which slows the game down, makes it more annoying. This game also has an annoying zombies hit detection. So, like, the zombies push you around when they hit you, and then meleeing is also terrible in this game. Meleeing is definitely not good. This game has the worst meleeing, the worst knifing since World at War, which is crazy. This game also has slower high rounds, like Spaceland took me, like, almost 6 hours to get to around 70 just because the wonder weapons just aren't powerful enough. You gotta use traps, basically. You gotta use, like, the alligator mouth trap and the Kepler. And then this game also has no camo grind, which, you know, this game came out after BO3. It could have been the first Zombies game to have a camo grind. You can use Black Sky for free in Zombies. I do like that. You know, you can use all the multiplayer camos for free, but I wish there was an actual camo grind made for zombies. That would have been awesome. So now we're getting into the positives, all right? And like I said, I got a lot of positives. So this is, hands down, the most unique zombies experience and story of all time. It just is. Just look at the gameplay on your screen. I'm in an amusement park. The DLC maps, I mean, you got like a Friday the 13th map. You got like a karate, kung fu, New York setting. You got like the monster movie of Attack. You got like the sci-fi spaceship with extinction crossover stuff with Beast from Beyond. This game is extremely unique. It just is. They were able to pull off something very special here. Lee Ross especially. That was the main guy behind this game. Then, this game also has the best base perk system in Zombies history. 5 perks, but you can remove them whenever you want. And, again, 5 perk limit. 5 perk limit. There's a couple crutch perks in this game. Like 3, maybe. You know, Quick Revive, Jug, and Double Tap. But other than that, there's really no crutch perks in this game. There's like 10 perks on each map. And, you know, it has the best base perk system ever. You can do Ghosts and Skulls, I think, as well to get all the perks. So it's basically like Perkaholic. Very, very cool. I would much rather have this perk system, you know, than BO3. This game has a better perk system than BO3. Easily. And every other Zombies game, I think. Because there's a perk limit, but it actually feels satisfying getting more than 5 perks. So, this game also has easily the best Super Easter Egg reward in history and great incentives overall to do Easter eggs. So, Director's Cut. If you've played this game, I got it literally just a month ago or something like that when I beat Beast from Beyond's Easter egg on camera. I got the Director's Cut right here. This is my first time playing Spaceland with Director's Cut. I love using Director's Cut, definitely. Love having it. It is amazing. Absolutely incredible Super Easter egg and literally the best Super Easter egg we've ever seen. I mean, BO6 didn't even do one, like I said earlier. This game also has a great double pap system, so you actually have to do something to unlock double pack-a-punch. It changes your camo, and it changes the name of the gun, and it ups your damage and ammo and everything like that. So, yeah, I love the double pap system. If we're going to have multi-tier pap in Zombies, this game is what I want it to be like. I want it to be like this game. This game also has solid Easter egg design and balanced boss fights. I feel like the boss fights are definitely fun, very unique, and they're balanced, unlike BO6, where the Easter eggs are extremely easy, but the boss fights are almost impossible. I definitely prefer this game's Easter egg design. There's also unique HUD elements on each map that add to variety, and there's also celebrity characters on each map, which is awesome. This game has the most fun and unique traps in Zombies history. I mean, all the traps on every single map are awesome. And then this game has unique max ammo rounds on every single map. You got clowns, you got, like, Yetis, basically, or, like, Sasquatches. You got roller skating, exploding zombies. You got the cryptids. You got the Krogs. I mean, it's just awesome, dude. Better equipment system than Cold War with the pouches and backpacks. I feel like just picking up the pouches in this game, the backpacks are it's way more intuitive than just the Warzone loot system for sure on the ground. Tickets from Spaceland work better than salvage in my eyes. They're basically the same thing, but they work better. They're more fun to get. And then souvenirs on Spaceland and also on some of the other maps like the Boombox and the Sentry Gun and everything are better than score streaks. I mean, you see the fireworks trap that I had in the gameplay. That's a, you know, and the Kindle Pops and everything like that. Those are the souvenirs I'm talking about. Way better than just copy and pasting multiplayer score streaks into Zombies. There's also no annoying bosses except on Beast from Beyond, like the Slasher on that map. There's also no super sprinters or damage scaling, which makes high rounds a lot more fun in this game, even though they're slower. There's also very fun and unique power-ups, which let me talk about that more in a little second here. So this game has infinite ammo as a power-up. It also has grenades, infinite grenades, and there's a pack-a-punch drop. I want you to explain to me right now why Treyarch puts 500 bonus points as a power-up. They keep that in every single Zombies game, but yet not a pack-a-punch drop like that's in this game. It's very rare in this game, but it wouldn't have to be this rare in modern Zombies because of the multi-tier pap. Why do we have bonus points instead of a pack-a-punch drop? Why? And then I also have the boss battle bonus game mode is really, really cool. It's the only Zombies game where you can practice the boss battles. Just go right into the boss fights immediately and just practice them. I love that. And then there's also unique DLC wall weapons on each map, like the Xeon. Like Beast from Beyond has like more futuristic weapons, of course, like Xeon, P-Laws on the wall, R3K. Completely different weapons than Spaceland and Rave and everything like that. Love that. Love it so much. Like World War II could have done the same thing, but they didn't. And then also BO4 could have done the same thing too. And then the last thing I have with IW is the Fate and Fortune card system is, in my opinion, the best consumable system ever created. I think it's better than Gobblegums. I think it's more balanced. It's fun to use. But yeah, overall, IW, I'm very, very passionate about this game. Love this game. 7.5 out of 10. Incredible game. Always going to be the most underrated zombies of all time. Not gonna lie, I needed to get a third game clip recorded there for Infinite Warfare just because I love that game so much. I had so much to say about that game, so many positives. But as you can see, coming in here at number 3 in third place today, I have Black Ops 4 with an 8 out of 10. And the description for this game that I'm gonna give here is for Zombies fans. This is the Zombies game out of all of them that was made for Zombies players the most, okay? Not players, not Warzone players, not multiplayer players, not people who never play Zombies. This game was simply made for Zombies fans. So let's get into the negatives here. So this game, in my eyes, does have the worst perk system in Zombies history. Basically, the reason why is because it's too restrictive, because it's a 4 perk limit, and it still has very crutch perks like Dying Wish, Winter's Wail, Stamina Up, Quick Revive. Very, very, I mean, why would you not use those perks? Those 4 perks right there. Those are simply the main perks everybody uses in this game. You're at a disadvantage if you don't use them, okay? They're crutch perks. And then there's also lots of useless perks with no easy bonus perk slot method. So you can get bonus perks in this game on certain maps, but it's usually only 1 extra perk, and it's not even a perk slot. Because of the perk system, the way they designed the perk machines and everything in this game, having a perk slot wouldn't make sense. Therefore, I don't like how restricted the perk system is. You should be able to get at least like 6 extra perks in the game because of how many perks there are. There's so many perks in this game, but you can't use them. You can only use 4. It's way too restrictive. And again, like I said, crutch perks. So this game also removed the iconic perks and machines and jingles like, you know, Speed Cola, Double Tap, Quick Revive, and Jug. I mean, Quick Revive's in the game, but it works completely differently. And, you know, it's the modern day version of Quick Revive, which I do like the effects of it, but there's no Quick Revive jingle in this game, no Quick Revive perk machine. So they just took out all the iconicism with perks. Like Stamina Up's in the game, but no perk machine, no jingle, for example. All that, you know. There's also this game has easily a worse point and PAP system than everything that came before it. It is better than the Cold War systems for points and the PAP system. Because, I mean, you have to PAP your gun 5 times in this game, but it's only 15,000 points, and you get more points in this game because you get points based on how much damage you do to a zombie. Not per kill, but per amount of damage. So you can only get a certain amount of points per zombie. You can't farm points like the games before, that, you know, the good point system, but this game does still have a slightly better point system than Cold War introduced. This game also has a worse specialist system compared to BO3 because they're not as fun to use and you don't have to do anything. You just spawn in with the overpowered built-in specialist. I mean, it's just annoying. Although the chaos versions of the specialist weapons are cool. The ether ones are quite basic though and quite boring, I would say. And again, you just always use either the hammer or the Path of Sorrows. It's that simple. And then this game introduced super sprinters, and it's the first Treyarch game to spam special enemies. So again, super sprinters by 55 in this game, but they shouldn't be in zombies. I don't think super sprinters should exist in zombies. This game also, for some reason, has a 4-hit down on normal difficulty, because there's difficulties in this game, which is a positive, but it's a 4-hit down on normal instead of a 5-hit. Even though every single zombies game ever created that came before this, besides maybe World War II, I guess, technically, you die in 5 hits with Jug. This game, there's no Jug, but you die in 4 hits. The only way this is balanced is with the overpowered built-in specialist weapon. But I have a challenge for you. If you think the 4-hit down is not annoying in this game, try playing this game without relying on your overpowered built-in specialist weapon. See if you like the 4-hit down, and see if you don't want it to be a 5-hit down instead. Should be a 5-hit down in this and in casual, but the difference is casual, you know, the health cap should be lower, and the zombies shouldn't run like they don't and everything like that. Then casual would still be easier than normal, but normal would be more balanced. It is very annoying dying in 4 hits. Red screening after 3 hits, dude. It feels like I don't even have Jug, you know? It's like this weird middle ground between not having Jug and having Jug. It's very annoying. So, also, another negative is this game has very big and complex hardcore maps and Easter egg design, which You will hear me say that in a second because it's also the positive for this game. It's why this game is so high up, is because of the hardcore map design and Easter egg design. And then the last negative I have is very simple. It's just elixirs. The elixir system is inferior to Gobblegums. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. The elixirs are constantly on your screen. You have the, the 4 of them on the D-pad on the side of the screen right there. That shouldn't be like that, and overall, the elixir system is just not as fun to use, not as creative as Gobblegums. Alright, on to the positives, guys. I gotta re-record this. So, 8 mostly positive maps, or 8 mostly solid maps, there's always things to do. Even if you don't like Alpha, Omega, or Voyage of Despair, or Blood of the Dead, there's always things to do. Literally always. So, 8 solid maps in this game, the most maps out of any Zombies game in history. Yes, it has more than BO3, because BO3 has 6 normal maps, 8 remasters. There are 8 normal completely brand new maps in this game. Oh, the Ether maps are remakes. Yeah, and what's the giant? What's the giant? Exactly. So, this game has very big and complex hardcore map and Easter egg design. This was a negative, but for me, it's more of a positive. Most people, I would say, the casual players would say this is a negative thing, but for me, positive. I like the design of maps like Ancient Evil, 9, Dead of the Night, and Togdertoad and stuff like that. Maps that just have a lot of stuff to do, hardcore design to them, that actually feels like if you practice the maps, you can unlock certain special things if you actually play the game, So that is very, very good. For Zombies players that actually play Zombies, the maps in this game are designed for us. The Wonder Weapons are also in the box and craftable in this game, so you don't have to rely on RNG if you don't want to, like Death of Orion, Kraken, Togdertoad, and Wonder Weapons. Alistair's Folly. You can get them from the box, or you can craft them you can do a quest to get them. So it completely removes the RNG out of it, which is very, very nice. And obviously on Ancient Evil and Alpha Omega and stuff like that, you do have to craft all the Wonder Weapons, but most of the time you can do either or. This game does have a better point and PAP system than Cold War. I did mention this earlier, but essentially, the reason it was in a negative, it was a negative as well and a positive, is because this game has a worse point and PAP system than everything that came before it, but it does have a better point and PAP system than everything that came after it. So it's kind of a weird thing. It's better than Cold War, but worse than classic systems. It's a better loadout system as well than Cold War, because it's just more balanced. The most overpowered thing you can spawn in with is a Mog 12 that literally is a door from spawn, so it's not overpowered, it's not broken like spawning in with the light machine gun in Cold War and everything we have nowadays. There's also, this was the first camo grind, and it's actually a challenging grind. Dark Ether in Cold War means nothing. It is extremely, extremely easy to get. The camo grind in this game, Dark Matter, even though it's the same camo as multiplayer, it's still a separate grind, and it's difficult, challenging, but it's satisfying. You feel happy, you feel proud of yourself when you get Dark Matter in BO4 Zombies. And the last positive is fun and balanced boss fights. Like I said earlier, I would much prefer this Easter egg design where you have harder Easter egg steps, but easier, more balanced boss fights. I much, much prefer that system for sure, because it's just very, very annoying doing an Easter egg, a very easy Easter egg, and then going into a boss that is almost unkillable. That's almost impossible. So BO4, love, love, love BO4. But at number 2, at the runner-up spot, basically, of course, we have the classic Black Ops 2 with an 8.5 out of 10 rating for me. And the description I would give for this is very simple. This game is fun to play and watch. Even BO3, most Zombies games, including BO3, I love playing them. They're a blast to play them. However, they're not fun to watch. They're kind of boring to watch because of how easy the games get, with Gobblegums, and Cold War is not fun to watch at all. So, this game, to this day, this game is 13 years old. It is more fun to play. It's still a blast to play this game, but it's also a ton of fun to watch people play any map in this game. Literally any map. All the maps are entertaining to watch people play. There's no overpowered camping strategies really or anything like that. They're all fun to play because this game is actually challenging. If you're good at Zombies, there's a huge difference between somebody playing this game that's not good at Zombies and somebody that's good. There's a huge, huge difference you can tell in gameplay watching somebody. So let's get into the negatives, though. There's not too many negatives. There's definitely more positives because, this is my second favorite Zombies game. So this game had a horrid first half with multiple D and F tier maps. Transit, Dire Eyes, Nuketown, Farm and Bus Depot. Those are all D and F tier maps. They're horrible maps, right? They're fun to watch people play, but they're not fun to play. So, it's just fun to watch people suffer on those maps. That's why it's fun to play. But yeah, horrible first half to BO2. But we'll get to the second half later. This game also has very few max ammo rounds on maps. Die Rise is the only one, I'm pretty sure, that actually has max ammo rounds. You know, max ammo rounds kill a map. If a map doesn't have max ammo rounds, like I said earlier, it kills the map for me. It does. It slows everything down. It just makes the game more boring. They should always be on every single map. Every single map should have max ammo rounds. There's also horrible perk choices on Transit, Mob, Nuketown, and Die Rise, so most of the maps in this game. Why is Mule Kick, Deadshot, PhD? Why are those perks not on Transit? Why is Stamina Up and PhD not on Mob of the Dead, but Deadshot Daiquiri is? Why does Nuketown only have 4 perks? Where is Mule Kick and Stamina Up or PhD? Where? Because you lose all your quick revives in solo, you only get 3 perks on Nuketown. That's it. And then Die Rise as well. Yes, it has Mule Kick and Who's Who, but it doesn't have Stamina Up. It doesn't have PhD, which would be amazing on that map. It doesn't have Deadshot. So the perk system, the perk choices, I should say, on most of the maps in this game are complete trash. Buried and Origins are really the only maps that actually have good perk choices. Perk sets, whatever you want to call it. There's also weaker wonder weapons. The jet gun sucks in this game. Acid Gat's not even that good. Paralyzer's not even that good, you know, for extremely high rounds. Even some of the staffs are pretty weak, all things considered. So, weaker wonder weapons for sure. And then there's also a bad buildable system on most maps. Most of the maps in this game do have a bad buildable system. The only good systems are on Mob of the Dead and Origins because they're made by Blundell, so he fixed everything. And yeah, being able to only carry 1 buildable at a time is very, very annoying, especially on Die Rise. It's extremely annoying, Die Rise and Transit. But yeah, and then the last negative I have for BO2 is the Easter eggs are co-op required. Like Mob of the Dead, I'm pretty sure it's co-op required. I've never done it, but I'm pretty sure it is. Even Origins, that I've beaten before, I beat last year, I beat the Origins Easter egg solo in BO2, I would still say that is a co-op required Easter egg because of how long and difficult the Rainfire step is, where you gotta throw the G-Strike outside the map. It's almost impossible to do solo, it's way too annoying to do solo, so Easter eggs are pretty much co-op required in BO2. So, anyways, we're moving on to the positives, guys. So, this game, BO2, definitely had a horrible first half to the maps, you know, horrible first half, but had an incredible second half with multiple A and S tier maps. So you go from D and F tier to A and S tier maps, literally, dude. Crazy, because Mob of the Dead is an A tier map. It's not S tier for me, but it's A tier for sure. And then Buried as well is an A tier map, and then Origins is my second favorite map of all time. So it's an S tier, obviously. So the second half of this game is incredible. Absolutely phenomenal. And again, it's even though they're better maps, they're also just as fun to watch as the bad maps, you know, because they're such good maps. This game also has the best power-up drop rate in history. If you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. You get power-ups more often in this game. You get easily 4 per round. You compare this game's power-up drop rate to something like IW, it's night and day. You get way more drops in this game. And there's really no useless drops in this game. Like, Carpenter's not even on most of the maps, you know? So there's no useless bonus points that gives you 500 points on round 5,000 like there is nowadays in every single game. There's no useless drops like that, really. There's not. So this game also introduced the bank and fridge system. It's the only game to have those systems. I don't use the bank or fridge. Definitely not the bank. For sure, I definitely would not use the bank. But I do appreciate those systems being there. Perma perks are also a really, really cool thing that they added with this game, especially on like Buried, where you can get PhD, you know, perma PhD. And then buildables is another positive, but buildables that were fixed by Blundell, you know, Jason Blundell, came in with Mob of the Dead and Origins, fixed the buildable system so you can actually carry all the buildable parts at once, which is just so much better, infinitely better. This game also introduced my favorite perk of all time, Double Tap 2.0. Like I said earlier, if Double Tap 2.0, the actual Double Tap, was in BO1, I would have BO1 quite a bit higher probably on the list. That's how much of a difference Double Tap 2.0 makes. Double Tap 2.0, people say you can't use guns in these older games past like round 30. You can use guns mostly till like 35 to 40. As long as they're papped with Double Tap 2.0, okay? There's also a good balance of bad and good box weapons. So, you know, you got like the Ballistic Knife, War Machine, SMR, stuff like that. But then you also have the Galil, the LSAT, Hammer, Scar. I mean, unique weapons on most of the maps as well, like Mob of the Dead with the Death Machine, Uzi, M1927, Origins with the Scar, the Scorpion, Ballista, all those cool weapons, MG08. There's also great variety across the entire game with the map locations. I mean, Alcatraz, the battlefields of World War One, right? I think it's World War One. And then, you know, buried with the Western town. Just such cool locations. Such cool ideas for maps. And then there's also a great perk system, but only on the DLC maps. So what I mean by that is you can get all the perks on Die Rise without having to do anything, without microtransactions or overpowered systems for modern zombies or anything like that. Nope, you can just get all the perks on Die Rise very easily. Same with Buried and Origins. Origins has the best perk system in Zombies history because it's actually satisfying getting all the perks. It's not satisfying getting all the perks in Modern Zombies. You don't have to do anything. You just go up to the overpowered Wonder Fizz and get all the perks, you know? Red dig piles on Origins are way, way better. I do wish Mob of the Dead didn't have a perk limit, though, because there's only 5 perks, but there's a 4 perk limit. Very, very annoying, for sure. But the rest of the DLC maps, great, great perk system. Then, the second to last positive I have for BO2 is the bonus survival maps that are basic, but they're still nice to have. You know, Town is always a ton of fun to play. Yeah, and, I mean, we're finally getting survival maps back this year with BO7. It's been way too long, but... Anyways, the final positive I have for BO2 Zombies is the great iconic boss enemies that this game introduced, like Brutus and the Panzer. Alright, the Panzer Soldat. Seriously, these bosses, the Brutus and the Panzer, are still being brought back and repurposed to this day because they're so well designed. They're not annoying, they're perfectly balanced, and you wouldn't see something like the Abomination being brought back because it's just annoying, or Amalgams. Those are the type of bosses we get nowadays. We need to go back to having good ideas like Brutus and Panzer. But yeah, BO2, 8.5 out of 10, love it. And coming in at number 1, the best zombies game of all time. Hands down, this really should not be much of a surprise if you've actually, you know, if you play COD Zombies. You know, if you played it for more than 10 minutes. This is, of course, Black Ops 3, which just turned 10 years old, I think, today on the day I'm recording this, November 6th, which is kind of crazy. But this game is a 9.5 out of 10. It's not perfect, but the award I'm going to give it, the description is, this is the closest to perfect award. All right? It's the closest to perfect zombies game of all time. So, let's get into the negatives. There's very few negatives for this game, but they are pretty big negatives, I would say. So, the first negative is the perk system in this game is for sure worse than Infinite Warfare and BO2's DLC maps, for sure. For sure. I mean, you can get extra perks on some of the maps in this game, but usually the way you get extra perks is by completing the Easter eggs or just using gums, you know? Like, it's not easy getting more than 4 perks on most of the maps in this game, and like on Gorod Crovey, you can get an extra perk, but it's not a perk slot, so you lose it when you die. It's quite annoying. Alternate ammo types are also way too overpowered and broken. Deadwire, I mean... That's all anybody does for high rounds in this game is just run around in a circle with Deadwire with an RK5 or something. It's just way too broken. BO4, I would say, did the alternate ammo types a little bit better. Even Cold War, probably, and BO6. But just because they're more toned down, they're still good and helpful, but they're not nearly as overpowered as this game. I mean, every single weapon is a wonder weapon on the higher rounds because of this system, so it definitely removes some weapon variety. And then... Next up, this is a big one. The Shadows of Evil Easter egg is literally impossible to complete in solo. Which means that there is no super Easter egg for solo. I have completed every single Easter egg in this game. Years ago I did. But I cannot get the RK5 to spawn in with. I can't complete the super Easter egg because I can't beat the Shadows of Evil Easter egg solo. So, it's like the last Easter egg that they ever did. I mean, luckily, it was 10 years ago. This is the last Easter egg, I'm pretty sure, that's co-op required. But I think you even... Yeah, I don't even think you can do it with two people. I think you literally need 4 people to beat this Easter egg. So, very, very annoying. I don't know why it's designed like that, but it's very, very annoying for sure. The next negative I have is a pretty big one as well. Talking about Chronicles. Shangri-La and Origins are clearly worse in BO3 than in BO1 and BO2 in their original maps, in the OG versions. Shangri-La, they completely butchered. Other than the graphics and the sounds, they completely butchered Shangri-La. It doesn't play well in BO3. It just doesn't. Origins is, I think BO3 Origins is actually the best looking zombies map of all time, but it doesn't play as well as BO2. It doesn't have the Scar or the Scorpion. It doesn't have the unique weapons like BO2, and I think it just plays better in BO2 overall. I really do. I think they made the Panzer more powerful in BO3, and they made the Mud more like, dangerous, basically, because it slows you down more in BO3. But the last negative I have for BO3 that I can think of is there's no camo grind. So this game did introduce camos for the first time in Zombies history, which is a big thing, but it didn't have a camo grind, which is always nice to have. The whole game should not be modeled around a camo grind like it is nowadays, but it should be like BO4 or something like that, where it's a nice grind that you can do. Having a camo grind in BO3 would be a blast. It would be a ton of fun. It definitely doesn't... It's not a big deal, but it definitely would make the game better if it had a camo grind, I feel like. But now we're getting into the positives. So, hands down, I just want to say, this BO3 Zombies is easily the best Zombies game of all time without custom zombies. Without custom zombies, and without Chronicles, okay? Because people that say, I'll never understand people that say BO1 would be the best if this game didn't have Chronicles, because, again, you compare the BO1 maps, there's 6 BO1 versus 6 BO3 maps. BO3 has B-tier maps at worst. If you don't like Zetsubo or Revelations, you cannot tell me they're any worse than a B-tier. Zetsubo, I love Zetsubo. It's an adventure. It's an adventure. It's a great map. Revelations, they did exactly what they set out to do on Revelations. It's a great map in my eyes. It's a B-tier minimum, whereas Moon is a D-tier. You know, 5 is not too good either. You know, so all the BO1 maps are average. All the BO1 maps are definitely average at best. So, next up, I'm going to be talking about the... Well, let me just mention, first of all, if you're counting custom zombies, this is without a doubt the best zombies game of all time. I think it is, even without customs and without Chronicles, just because of how good the gameplay and the maps are, but let's get into that. So, BO3 has great Easter egg design overall, and mostly good bosses. The only one I don't like is Nikolai on Gorod. I feel like he's just way too overpowered. He kills you way too quickly, you know? I had to literally use Danger Closest to beat Nikolai a couple years ago, because it's just way too difficult. It just is. And then most zombies maps in franchise history is another pro. So this game does have 14 maps, but I still consider BO4 to have more maps because it's 8 unique maps. This game has 8 remasters and 6 normal maps, and the Giant is also a remaster. So, yeah, overall, 14 maps. I mean, it's undeniable. It's awesome. And then the graphics also of BO3. Is it just me, or are the graphics in BO3 that are 10 years old now, do they not look better than what we get nowadays? I swear to you, this game plays smoother, and it just looks better. Like, then I still, every time I go back to this game, I'm just so surprised at how good it looks. How good it looks, how smooth it plays. Just, it plays better than what we have nowadays. Probably because nowadays we're lagging in solo on a server, forced to play on a server in BO6 and Vanguard and everything, you know, and MW3. But, next up, this is also the first game to feature camos and a proper ranking system. BO2 did not have a real ranking system. And then also challenges, like calling card challenges and everything like that you can do out-of-game progression, basically, you know, out-of-game customization. I love that. You know, there's 1,000 levels in this. The Prestige Master Icons are a lot better in BO3 than in BO4. So yeah, and then the Gobblegums are not necessary, but nice to have. This game introduced Gobblegums and did them a lot better than BO6 for sure. BO6, I haven't used gums since like the first two, since like the second week the game launched. But yeah, overall Gobblegums are really nice to have. Not necessary though. And then great side Easter eggs. There's, you know, I know there's like spider bait on this map. There's a lot of really, really cool side Easter eggs, like with the specialist and everything like that. I mean, I don't really think the specialist would be a side Easter egg, but there's a lot of cool side Easter eggs in this game, most of which I've never even done before, but a lot of really cool ones, like the helmets you can get on Gorod and Rev and everything. And even there's a Margwa helmet on Shadows, which most people don't know about. This game also has mostly unique max ammo rounds on every single map, like spiders, the parasites were introduced, Valkyrie drones, you know, the Revelations with a bunch of unique enemies you fight during the max ammo round. So really, really cool there. It has dogs as well, classic max ammo round. And then last but not least, the final statement I want to give here is BO3 overall blended the classic mechanics with new ideas like gum and specialist quests and everything like that the best. I mean, what game, like this game is kind of weird because it's not modern zombies, but it's also not classic. It's this perfect middle ground that I hope we see again, dude. I hope we see it again because it is absolutely phenomenal. And I genuinely think if you're saying if you're putting any zombies game higher than BO3, you're just incorrect. I think we all need to agree at this point that this is, objectively speaking, the close. It's not a perfect game, not even close to a perfect game, but it is the closest to perfect for sure. Yeah, it's BO3. What can I say? But guys, that is going to be it. Holy, this was a very, very long commentary. It kind of sucks because during a couple of these clips, I had to re-record because I'm recording this voiceover on my phone, and my phone's garbage, and it keeps glitching and deleting my voiceover afterwards. So, yeah, I kind of had to rush through this as well. I had to add like 20 minutes of extra gameplay, by the way, just because of how much I've had to say. Like, I underestimated just how long it would take to actually say all the things that I have on this Google Doc. So anyways, though, guys, that is going to be it. Leave your list in the comments. I know what people are going to disagree with the most for sure is going to be my BO1 placement and probably my IW placement, but mostly just my placements in relation to BO1. People are going to be like, no way is BO6 or IW better than BO1 or BO4. But truthfully, I like the Blundell style of maps. It's that simple. I really, really do. And yeah, BO7 comes out in literally basically a week when you get this video. So stay tuned for that. I will be playing that, obviously. And I'll be playing that for the first month or something like that. Uploading some videos on it for sure. But guys, I'm going to be getting back on Minecraft today or tomorrow. So if you're a Minecraft viewer and you've watched this video till the end, I appreciate it, because the Minecraft videos are going to be coming back very, very soon. So stay tuned. Anyways, I will see you all in the next one. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'm done for zombies, so signing out, but peace out.